It feels,
Morning.
Julia, like this is actually quite small scale. A few plastic straws, stirrers and cotton wool buds. You're out in the countryside all the time.
Yeah.
Are these the scourge of our environment?
This is definitely a step in the right direction. It is not the big move that we all need. There needs to be a global shift in our attitudes towards plastic. The plastic straws that are in front of you there are not going to go anywhere. They're going to be with us on the planet for the next 400 or 500 years. They can't be recycled. They'll end up in landfill. They'll end up then in the oceans. And we are now eating plastics. We hear about microplastics that are found in our tap water.
From a sort of a wildlife perspective, talk us through some of the impacts that you've seen from the plastics that we use on a daily basis and then just never go away.
Well, there's 1 million seabirds every year that are killed by plastics. There's 100,000 marine mammals, so it's really, really important in the marine environment. California condors are being reintroduced back into California. Lots of the chicks are dying because they swallow plastic. So this is really a step in the right direction, and it's great that there's political will. Theresa May said that plastics are one of the biggest environmental problems that we have, and that is, of course, very true.
You know, lots of people will think, brilliant, this is fantastic. Sometimes these things have unexpected consequences. Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson said in The Independent recently, plastic straws actually are very important for disabled people who can't drink from a cup. And all of a sudden, you think of it completely differently.
And this is something that people engage with me on social media about, and you're absolutely right, there are certain people who need plastic straws, and there are people who say that they need their fruit to be cut up for them in supermarkets as well, because it helps them if they have any disabilities.
Yeah, so rather than buying a whole apple, you buy one in plastic.
In plastic.
Which is in segments.
So first of all, let's relook at the packaging. The packaging could be, we're making great strides in terms of compostable and biodegradable food packaging. Yeah. So we can look at that so that the product can still be available. And now there are amazing straws available that are glass, which is recyclable, fully recyclable, aluminium as well, again, which is fully recyclable. So they can still be there as utensils and as products that are available for the people that need them. The difference is glass is fully recyclable. Plastic, even when it is recyclable, and I think people don't understand this, it can only be recycled a certain number of times.
But there must be a cost implication of having a glass straw as opposed to one of these plastic straws and the aluminium straws as well.
But they're reusable, so they can be washed and reused. So yes, there's a cost implication. You have to you sort of have to balance it up and weigh that out. I mean, we've produced since the 1950s 8.3 billion metric tons of plastic, and 6.3 billion metric tons is still on the planet and is plastic waste. We've recycled less than 9% of all the plastic ever produced.
Nigel Marven, when we buy stuff in the supermarket, a lot of it has been done on plastic bags, which is good, but you know, are the supermarkets themselves doing enough? Iceland wants to get rid or fade out plastic. Meanwhile, Sainsbury's, we were talking about yesterday, has introduced a new plastic packaging, which means that we don't have to touch chicken. I mean, it seems like for every sort of move forward, sometimes there's a little bit of extra packaging, which makes our lives more convenient and safer, perhaps.
Yeah, well, I think there's a sea change, and it's great that the government are also mentioning this to the Commonwealth leaders. There's a Commonwealth meeting in London, and they're going to try to get this across the whole of the Commonwealth, and they're going to spend 160 million pounds to actually help research and find different alternatives to plastics. But you know, I'm filming a couple of weeks ago in Honduras, and you're on a pristine coral reef, and there is a plastic straw floating in the sea, and in the Pacific there's a whole sea of plastic from all of the stuff that we've thrown away. So actually think before buying plastic straws. Hopefully it will be banned, as the government say. You know, don't get coffee cups that are only used once. Take your own cup to Starbucks or wherever you get your coffee from. And we can all do our own little bit, and it's very important that we do.
OK, one last word from you, Julia.
I'm an ambassador for Keep Britain Tidy as well, so trying to encourage people all the time to do beach cleans and countryside walking cleans, just so people know, if they think this doesn't mean anything to them, it costs us £885 million a year to clear up all of our litter as well. So, and often people say, well, what else could we spend that money on? Well, we all know there are lots of other things. So it's a social issue, and it's a health issue as well for all of us.
Big difference.